Welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I'm your host, Cardinellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And I've heard every kind of gate out there. All right, gate can now be added to anything.
Well, of course, starting with the Watergate.
Yeah, you're starting with Watergate, obviously.
Deflategate was my favorite with Tom Brady.
Deflategate with Tom Brady. We've got other gates that we can't mention because the algorithms won't let us. But one I never thought I would ever hear is Ice Cream Gate. Ice Cream Gate is pretty epic. Cody, tell us what is going on.
Okay, well, actually, it's interesting. A kind of old story has been resurfacing lately and causing people to... I'm not going to say people are accusing anyone of anything. People are taking a look at it, so I thought it'd be fun to take a look at it. Anyway, let's go back to kind of one of the roots of this. So about a week ago now, a little under a week ago, Nancy Pelosi had what I would call not very... I don't know a good way of putting it. Optically bad interview where she stood in front of her $24,000 refrigerators when a lot of people are starving and don't know what to do for work, and basically said, hey, come check out my ice cream. And she was talking about how Jeni's ice cream is her favorite and she loves the chocolate ice cream, and she flashed Jeni's ice cream, to which Joe Biden mentioned out on Twitter that Speaker Pelosi has great taste with Jeni's ice cream. Now, to a lot of you guys, you might say, okay, and... I recognize that's expensive ice cream. I was like, wow, that's like literally like $100, $200 in ice cream.
Ooh, and that let them eat ice cream, Nancy Antoinette. That was tough.
That was the first leg of Ice Cream Gate. Was everyone coming at Nancy Pelosi? I mean, I think I tweeted that. I just think it's I don't care that Nancy Pelosi has an expensive refrigerator, but the Speaker of the House showing off her fully stocked and expensive refrigerators while the Congress is on vacation and people are starving at home just seems weird.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Nancy Pelosi. I'm very mad at the Speaker of the House. And guess what? She chose to be that person. Anyway, the reason why it's got a little bit more... people started talking more about it is because a kind of old story now resurfaced. So, don't know the exact date. A little while ago, a few days ago, FEC filings came out for the last quarter, I believe. So we've been able to see what people are spending money on, what money campaigns have raised. We found out that Michael Bloomberg in 2020 spent about $1 billion. That's what he spent in 2020 to win American Samoa and nothing else. Yeah. But you notice, Joe Biden has been making $71 transfers to Jeni Splendid Ice, which is Jeni's ice cream, the same ice cream that Speaker Pelosi was eating, throughout the length of this campaign. And you'll notice these are all $77 transactions, some multiple times on a single day, which is kind of interesting to some people. Like you'll see right here on the 22nd, they had 3 of these $71 transactions. People are breaking this up. Wow. And it keeps going. And we're back, you see we're 8/21/2019. I think it goes a little bit further. Yes, all the way back to May, almost a full year. He has been doing this. Now, one thing, this got some people wondering why is Nancy Pelosi showing off his ice cream on TV? Because it was, I have to admit, great ad space for Jeni's ice cream, right?
Yeah.
And then we look and Joe Biden's been doing this. And again, this isn't necessarily news. I mean, this is an article from the week going back to October of 2019. Saying Joe Biden once spent $3,800 on ice cream for donors.
Boom. And
they're mentioning how he had spent specifically with Jeni's Splendid Ice Cream thousands of dollars. And if you go back and look at this stuff right here, you can see up through October of last year, it was at about thousands of dollars. Now, this I have to say right here from the stop, I know that I'll show you guys. Joe Biden loves ice cream famously, dude. If you don't, I saw a couple people, I'm not going to name names, donate their $1,200 stimulus check to Joe Biden. He's spending a lot of that in ice cream, man.
Yeah,
I get that he's raised millions, but dude, like, 10 grand. This totals out to just under 11 grand, I believe, on ice cream is a little bit crazy to me. It is a little bit crazy.
Like the audience really needs to think about that before they give that money to Joe Biden, because you'd have to say, do the math. If you're getting $1,200 as an adult from the Trump check, that means the first 10 to 20 people that gave money to him, literally, he just spent it on ice cream.
No, again, it's not the biggest deal. Joe Biden loves ice cream. But what it did do, because I got to admit, just from the wherewithal here, I do not think there's anything nefarious going on behind Jeni's ice cream and Joe Biden. But there's a lot of people that start talking about this, and it's actually kind of funny when I was just doing some research with myself.
There's not a secret flavor that's a code word for the Illuminati.
No, but if I just typed in Joe Biden FEC disbursements, it came up with this page immediately. Like, a lot of people were looking at this because it's a lot of money. But again, the fact that Joe Biden's been spending a bunch of money at this ice cream place on this campaign alone goes back to October. We've been saying, I think we actually did a video back in October talking about strange campaign expenditures. And they mentioned that he spent a lot of this. But what it really did bring up, and this is kind of interesting, is how what's the word I'm looking for? And I guess one more thing I do want to show you guys is that the owner of Jeni's Ice Cream, a Mrs. Jeni Britton Bauer, also was spotted a few months ago during the Andrew Yang campaign as in Yang Gang hats and math hats a few times. So that's the cannabis math hat, actually. You can see it right there. And the reason I wanted to start with this is because what this really gets to, and it is really interesting.
She a political operative, bro?
Not an operative, but definitely has become a very influential player in politics for the Democrats over the last few years.
Is she the Democrat My Pillow guy?
I wouldn't say that.
Is Chick-fil-A's nemesis going to be Jeni's Ice Cream?
Hold on. The My Pillow guy kind of had his own. He had a very unique. We're just like people watch Fox, but advertisers don't want to run on it, so we got to just run ads for cheap, and he bought it up. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But I want to say it's interesting to see now the speaker advertise Jeni's Splendid Ice Cream, Joe Biden dumping thousands. But if you go back to an article from early 2015, January of 2015, she was making this is actually kind of. As a business owner who wants to have influence in local politics, she was trying to find a way how to get the Democratic, I believe it was the Democratic National Convention, that was what it was, moved to or hosted in Columbus in 2016. Yeah. And her idea was to make her own custom flavor of ice cream called White House Blueberry, but it was only, I believe, directly mailed to the people that had influence. It seems like influence over where this was chosen. So this is someone who has been working behind the scenes for a while in the Democratic Party, and it is. I'm just saying. I think I'm seeing here is somebody who for years has, I'm sure, been donating. I'm sure been encouraging people to vote Democrat and doing things like that. Who has also been very influential. I think do I still have this? I just wanted to go over this one thing I thought was really funny for you guys. I pulled up an article from Columbus, Monthly Columbus, talking about the rising stars of Columbus, Ohio. Right?
All right.
This passage is very, very interesting to me. No offense to Columbus, I had not heard of a lot of these people. But they mention hometowns being known for their people. They names like Henry Ford and Aretha Franklin in Detroit. New Orleans with Louis Armstrong, Anne Rice, and Emeril Lagasse. Emeril Lagasse is something New Orleans, I think. San Francisco with Janis Joplin and Dianne Feinstein and Joe Montana. And then there's Columbus, the city of Les Wexner, Jack Hanna, Jeni Britton Bauer, and Archie Griffin. And then they go on. But the larger point here is that quietly, I guess. I think it's one of the reasons why the fact that Joe Biden spent all this money is so shocking to see people at the front of the time. But quietly for years, this Jeni Britton Bauer, the owner of Jeni's Ice Cream, has really been working to kind of ingrain herself and make some headways with the Democratic Party. And what does it total out to? How about this? We go to October of 2019. Where does Tom Perez, the DNC's chair? Well, he went to visit Jeni's Splendid Ice Cream in a shop in the short north of Columbus when he was doing a tour down there. Blah. And he said he's been to a Jeni's before back in 2016. My only point is that, yes, this is someone who has definitely been working with the Democrats as, I'm assuming, a donor and just an influential person in Ohio and some other regions where they probably want to do well. So I think that's what we saw. I just wanted to run through this because it is weird to see Joe Biden spend $10,000. I'm not going to lie. This is weird. Oh, the last thing. I don't know why I'm defending Joe Biden here, but I kind of am. The last thing I want to highlight to you guys, people are saying, why are they like $70 transactions? But generally
it's
speaking,
gourmet ice cream, or
well,
what?
they sell these packs on their website. I'm assuming they're like between $58 and $68, or I think $40 and $60. They're different packs of ice cream.
Dude.
Yeah, so Joe Biden irresponsibly spending money on ice cream, I definitely think is a thing. I don't think there's a Jeni's conspiracy. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing anything, but I believe the Jeni's conspiracy is just that she's done a lot of really good work, raised a lot of money, or made a lot of money for herself, raised a lot of money for Democrats, and now they're starting to give her notices. They're starting to give her attention.
Yeah, but also
unfortunately, that's how it works, and it's an awful dirty game, but that's what's going on.
No, but this is also where the revolving door starts happening. Infamously, politicians, do you ever notice that they always write a book before they run for presidential office? Because you're not allowed to take money. Okay, you're not allowed to take money from your donations to your political campaign. But if somebody gives you donations to your political campaign and as a thank you gift, you give them a copy of your book, your campaign is allowed to buy a bunch of copies of your book for which you will get a royalty on each one.
Well, okay. There's other reasons too, right?
So, well, yeah.
I mean, a book tour is pretty good publicity to go into. Yes, anything. If help you sell books, help you get votes, right?
No, I get that. And it's also a manifesto of ideology, but we all know that these people hire ghostwriters and they don't even put a single, pen to paper
not
anywhere.
Everyone always.
Yes, and I know there's some that don't. But at the end of the day,
Yang wrote his.
It's a great way to get paid. Yeah, but Yang wrote his before he became a candidate, years before.
Hey, before he announced, right? Before he decided.
Okay, maybe. He might have been, his insanely lucrative and successful run for presidency was probably plotted years in advance by one young Andrew Yang as he was sitting as a tech entrepreneur of, his whatever mini empire he had, while his net worth was less than $1 million. Yes, I'm sure that was his plan. But it seems to me that a great way to justify large donations to the Democrat Party is if they're going to start buying your ice cream, and you get to work yourself into the system and into the ethos and the culture of that system to a certain extent, in the same way that the MyPillow and the Chick-fil-A guy is on the Republican side. You know what I'm saying? And sure, they're going to, if you look at that last article you had on NBC4, Tom Perez says, oh yeah, I went over to the shop to talk about women in leadership positions of business and minorities. And yeah, I'm sure that's what you went over there for. It had nothing to do with campaign donations and future influence campaigns. I'm sure you're just overwhelmingly concerned about the plight of female CEOs of $1 million ice cream companies and making sure that they're.
Well, I will say this too. I mean, this is going back to 2016 again with Joe Biden. I guess you could even say. I mean, in 2016, Joe Biden announced new overtime rules that I think were federal overtime rules that were going to impact the entire country. And he announced it at Jeni's Splendid Ice Cream headquarters in downtown Columbus. So, I mean, there has been these ties with the Democrats, specifically Joe Biden, going back to at least last election, which is something worth noting. But again, I think it's just that we're seeing a regionally influential business owner with a lot of money making some influence, making herself known. And it's kind of like the fruits are bearing out now. Now we're seeing Joe Biden. Because, I mean, hey, all things aside, and I do wonder what the rules are for this. Because I remember Michael Bloomberg legitimately published a unlabeled ad on his Twitter account for a company. I think the company is actually called Big Gay Ice Cream, where it was 7-second long, a video on his Twitter account. He's just standing there looking at the camera. He grabs a ton of ice cream, takes one scoop, and he goes, Big Gay Ice Cream. And then it ends. It's a commercial that presidential candidate Mike Bloomberg did for that company, but I don't think anywhere where there's legal rules around commercials apply to a 7-second Twitter video that's literally commercial. Instagram recently implemented stuff saying it.
Yeah.
That's a separate discussion, but I will say Joe Biden personally giving his stamp of approval on the Speaker of the House showing off your product on national TV, it's a pretty big win. It's a pretty big win for somebody that they're definitely familiar with. And I also want to highlight that too, is that I don't think if Nancy Pelosi happened to have some random regional San Francisco ice cream that isn't that really popular outside of the city, and she's like, I like it because it's my favorite. I don't know. I don't know if it gets shown on TV the same way as someone that they all know who they definitely. It seems like they stop in Columbus a lot in that her place because she's influential, but still, it's funny. You can see who gets related to.
This is a great move for Jeni's though, because Tip O'Neill famously said all politics are local, because it used to be that people would vote for Democrats if they felt that they had a union issue in their local hometown. And unions were better represented by the Dems locally. So then they would follow the Dems in the national election. And it used to be that, I believe Tip O'Neill's comment that all politics are local was very true. But now I actually think all politics are national. People vote locally for Democrats because they hate Trump, and now they've chosen teams and that's their side. It's negative partisanship. It's just been scientifically proven. And the hilarious part is things that you think would be detrimental to these companies end up helping them. I would love, and I could be proven wrong. I'm completely aware that the data might prove otherwise, okay? But I would love to see their revenue. Obviously, coronavirus throws off the revenue stream a little bit, but I would love to see what happens to their revenue when this ice cream becomes an anti-Nancy Pelosi thing, because just like people flocked to Chick-fil-A when Chick-fil-A was under fire from Democrats, not because they liked it, but just because they wanted to support our side. I bet you Jeni's ice cream becomes like an our side thing in this little culture war that we got going on here. And then now, they're going to have protection as being like the Democrat ice cream. Like Chick-fil-A and MyPillow is like the Republican pillow and the Republican hamburger. I guarantee you the revenue went up because
I really hope that doesn't happen. 'Cause everything you said right there just sounds like such.
But that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
It's so embarrassing. I'm buying this chicken sandwich to support Donald Trump. I really hope no one goes out there and buys a pint of Jeni's ice cream to support the Speaker of the House. I'm sorry. If you want, here's the reason why. You know why I think.
No, but if you hate Trump and you feel like
do you know
Nancy
why I think
Pelosi,
they do good?
Why?
because Jenny's ice cream, by all accounts I've heard, is pretty good. I think it's like a gelato. I think it's really good, and Chick-fil-A is really good. And dude, like I said, if you're out there buying a Chick-fil-A to support Donald Trump, no offense, that's kind of pathetic.
No, it's not that you're supporting
and if you're
Donald
out there
Trump.
buying Jenny's ice cream to support the Speaker of the House, no offense, that's kind of pathetic. Like
you
that's
didn't
kind
see the
of
line
ridiculous.
outside of the local Chick-fil-A when Chick-fil-A came under fire
Hey,
for not being open on
you know
Sundays.
what? I'm glad
Chick-fil-A
glad
came
I
under
didn't see
fire.
that line. Glad I didn't see it. Would have got a big groan from me. It's a little bit embarrassing. I have to defend Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is delicious and all over the place, and they're very successful. I don't think they need your defense. Okay.
Okay, I'm not saying not my defense.
Speaking to a hypothetical, not
Okay,
you.
I'm just commenting on the obvious here. When they were under fire by the LGBTQ community, okay, all of a sudden they had lines out the door, and I remember Facebook invites popping up about support Chick-fil-A because they're on our side. You know what I'm saying?
I know, and I'm saying I agree. that does literally exist, and I do find it ridiculous.
Okay,
I personally think the notion that I'm going to go out there and be like the fact that we've brought in like consumer identities to our politics now is hilarious. Like, I'm not only a consumer, I'm a right-wing consumer who buys at Chick-fil-A. Like, I'm just saying, I really hope we don't see that happen with Chick-fil-A. I really hope we don't have left-wing consumers buying Jenny's frozen ice cream, which, by the way, has been also, if this is somehow something that makes them like an anti-Nancy, she's been a very popular Democrat influence. Democrats keep stopping at our headquarters to give big speeches. Joe Biden announced they were changing federal guidelines on overtime there. I mean, yeah, it's an influential business person who has a lot of sway in the Ohio area, Columbus, Ohio area. I don't know. I hear you. It probably will. I'm just saying, God, I hope it doesn't. That's one of those things that's just like, it's so ridiculous to me. Like I don't even like. I'm a huge like I guess R.I.P. I'm like Kobe Bryant fan, but like I wouldn't look at buying a pair of Kobe's as like supporting like the brand of. I would just buy them because I. Does that make sense to you? Like I think it's weird to me that with politics, it's like it's okay for people to like go watch a movie
be
in movie
American,
theaters.
buy American.
To like no, I'm not talking about buy American. I'm talking about watching a certain movie in a movie theater because like that's you.
So
like,
you don't feel that's our team.
No, I guess,
maybe that's why you're a good counterbalance, dog.
I guess I just feel like that's the game.
I play team sports sometimes.
Do you know who wants you to be on their team? The advertisers. Isn't it a coincidence that being on that team is buying something from the company?
Are you suggesting that maybe this negative partisanship has only benefited not the participants but the corporations that advertise it?
Yes,
and that we all unwittingly just make corporations rich through the bias.
All I'm gonna say is this:
boils in our blood.
I definitely think at the end of the day, making a lot of money does become more important than winning some kind of made up culture war to these companies. They want to just make money. They don't care about winning the culture war. What does that mean? Winning the culture war? Go explain what winning the culture war means to someone who doesn't live in the Western hemisphere. Like, someone's not aware of what you're talking about. And they're like, what do you mean? No, there's like, you gotta go eat Chick-fil-A. Like, try to explain that to someone who's not like 50 steps deep.
I get you don't like it, dog.
And so it's really, I don't know. I have to admit, somewhere in between, there's something nefarious going on because Joe Biden buys a lot of ice cream from Jenny's Ice Cream, and buying Jenny's Ice Cream to support Nancy Pelosi. I definitely agree. There's got to be a middle ground.
I have a really
I'm not a
important
fan
question.
of either.
I have a really important question. First off, I'm betting you Jenny's Ice Cream becomes a Chick-fil-A of the left within 6 months. And here's my question for you, though, Cody: is it as good as Michael Bloomberg's gay ice cream?
I haven't tried either.
That's the question.
To be 100% honest, I don't like ice cream.
Really?
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's not my thing. I think it tastes good. I just all of like a taste, but like I can't eat a lot of ice cream.
Dude, no wonder you're so ripped, man.
I guess.
I could do dairy all day long.
I have plenty of other things that aren't good for me. Just ice cream isn't one of them. I'm not a big ice cream fan. No.
No, the best ice cream is when you just take the gallon and you melt it and you just stick it in the microwave until it's almost just cream, and then you can like drink it. It's like 5,000 calories all at once, and it's awesome. Little chunks of cookie dough fall all the way to the bottom. It's a thing of absolute and utter beauty, my man.
That sounds awful. That sounds terrible.
No, it's great. I mean, it gives
like
you gas
for your
for
health.
like 2 days.
Yeah, like for your health, like don't do that. Don't do that. If you're watching this, don't do that. Don't do that. That sounds really bad. No.
or peanut butter. Oh, you get the Reese's peanut butter cup ice cream, and you put peanut butter on top
I'd rather
of
talk
it.
about Joe Biden's $71 donations or $71 disbursements to Jeni Splendid Ice Cream for another 50 for eternity, and just have the grossest ice cream recipes humanly possible. But anyway, as far as I can tell, that is what's going on with Ice Cream Gate right now. I don't know if anyone calls it Ice Cream Gate. I just thought it was funny seeing the controversy originally sprung with Nancy Pelosi and what's going on with that. Tone deaf's a good word for it. Like, seriously, people are starving right now, Nancy. Don't show off your $400 of ice cream and your refrigerators. Like, her refrigerators are like legitimately years rent for millions of Americans. So like, yeah, that was a dumb idea. And then finding out. But again, I think all we're seeing here is what happens all across politics. I guess it's really what you were talking about. So I apologize. It's what you're talking about. You're seeing business owners all over the place forever. They start, their business does well, it grows, they keep making money.
You do better.
And they're like, what do I spend money on now? How about I start influencing politics the way I want to influence them? And I think that's what we're seeing. And she's having success. She's having presidential candidates shout her out. She's having the vice president stop by and make big announcements at her headquarters. It's working. Whatever she's doing is working for her. Good for her.
Yeah, I know it's working, but also some of these owners, it is profitable. I don't believe get woke, go broke is a rule. I think there's lots of times if you don't truly understand your audience and you get woke, the division you create loses you such market share, you do indeed go broke.
What did they do?
But there's other times that by getting woke, it makes you.
How did Jeni's Ice Cream get woke because Nancy Pelosi has it in her refrigerator?
I'm saying if they do.
I guess, but I'm just
and this becomes a thing. And there's obviously, she's becoming a political operative. She's wanting to get as many photo ops as she can. She's got the math hat on. She's got it's not like she's one of these bipartisan companies that's making sure all of the public servants get it.
Every company's bipartisan.
Every company's bipartisan. Yeah, sure. Go tell that to the My Pillow guy. You know what I'm saying? As he sits in front of the podium saying that on January 1st, 2016, God saved America.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Not everyone who runs a company is bipartisan individuals, but every company is. What My Pillow says, sorry, you can't buy here if you're done. No, every company's bipartisan. Maybe the owners have their own opinions, but the businesses run as bipartisan. Maybe not everyone, but if you're not running a business as a bipartisan business, it basically fails because what did Michael Jordan say? Someone asked Michael Jordan, why don't you speak up more?
I didn't do it.
Why don't you speak more on social issues? Like, why do you not speak up more? Why aren't you a bigger advocate for social issues? You know what he said? Something to the effect of because conservatives buy shoes too. Because he's a business. It doesn't make sense. So individuals can be. I don't know. I don't think that Joe Biden spending money on Jeni's Ice Cream and Nancy Pelosi eating it is going to make it some left-wing icon.
No, I think her pushing. I don't think just a couple of these incidental remarks and Twitter videos are going to make it. But if she continues to keep this, campaign of sending ice cream to all the people that influence where the convention is going to be, okay, only a political operative would care where it is. Okay. Showing up in all these photos, making sure. I mean, she's obviously trying to inject herself into the stream of the political conversation.
Hold on, 1 second. A local business person wanting a massive event to take place in their town sounds to me pretty bipartisan, man. I would love for a bunch of people to come.
This isn't Eric Garcetti chasing the 2020 Olympics.
You think the Democratic National Convention would spend any money on ice cream when they were in Columbus?
Of course.
You think maybe like something like Joe Biden?
So you think this is just some accidental, non-want to be political business owner who got highlighted in a random Twitter video?
The owner of this woman definitely needs to be a Democrat, and she does something really bad. No bones to pick with that. I'm just saying that when it comes to what companies do, I don't know, man. It just seems to me normally when I look at the decisions of the company, like you said, of course you'd want a Democrat would want the DNC in their hometown. It's like, yeah, but local business owners do too. I don't know. I just think the monies we always want to follow first.
Hey, well, just like you say, if you're not pushing something on YouTube, you don't do well. I think there's companies that have the reverse of get woke, go broke. I think when they start pushing a side, that side gravitates toward them. Sometimes it kills them. Sometimes it makes it. It's a risk, but I think it works. Worked for Chick-fil-A.
But they didn't do anything. That's a hypothetical risk they could hypothetically take, I guess, perhaps. But I don't know. I guess I don't think anything nefarious is going on, but I do want to wrap it up by saying Joe Biden spending $10,000 on ice cream is kind of ridiculous. Still, I do not think he could afford one Nancy Pelosi fridge with the money he spent on ice cream. But I don't know, man. Coming from a guy who doesn't eat ice cream, take that in mind. But just get a hold of yourself, man. That's too much ice cream.
All right. So anyway, let us know what you guys think. If you've had some of Jeni's ice cream and it's actually worth $77, in your humble opinion? Please comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. If you can, join the channel. It's only $5 a month. Easy way to keep this content coming to you guys and support the channel. And also make sure you follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and especially on Twitter. I'd say our main way of getting the word out to you guys quickly, post haste, is on Twitter. So follow us at PSP Radio 1. This is Problem Solver Politics. We'll see you guys in the next video.